Maulan na umaga sa lahat. Okay, so ito na yung part 3 ng mga lumabas ng September 2025 na nai-live ko 2 nights ago sa TikTok. So if you were not able to join yung first two kasi three-part series to. So you can watch here on YouTube. All right? Okay? So let's start. 20 points lang siya. And in any way, I want to advertise also. So, uh, free nga po tayo sa mga materials sa Prophet and Janet, but nagpapa-enroll na po ako for social science. Okay, so if you're a social science major, I hope you can trust me as your coach. Okay? Okay, salamat. It's just for 249 naman. Okay, so hindi ka na lugi. It's 22 live sessions pa yan. Okay, pupukpukin natin yan. All right, so general education. Okay, so as I have said, ito yung uh, third and last uh, part nung three-part series. Okay? So let's adjust. So inayos ko na rin yung ano ko kasi yan, ginanyan ko na lahat dyan. Kasi pag sila nagle-live ako, tinatanong, saan po natin makukuha yung Macboards? Saan po kayo, saan po yung mga videos? Ganyan, okay? So andyan na yan, basahin nyo. Alright, number one, Alexander Graham Bell is famously credited with inventing the A. Morse code, B. Telephone, letter C. Penicillin, and D. Light bulb. Oo, bakit ayaw gumalaw ng aking alright. Okay, and of course, since high school, alam na natin yan, di ba? So, Graham Bell is, related to the telephone, okay? So, ang kwento po niyan, actually, hindi siya yung kauna-unahan na nag-invent ng telephone. But then, Um, he had a smart future father-in-law in the name of Hubbard. Okay, so he prodded Alexander Graham Bell to patent the invention kasi at the time may kalaban daw siya si Elisha Gray, okay, na nag-invent din ng a kind of telephone. Okay, so as I have said, siya yung kauna-unahang nag-patent, and that's the the birth of a Bell Telephone Company. Okay, so yun yung naging company niya, which is now the AT&T. Okay, yung kilala at siguro yan na rin siguro yung pinaka-popular na telecommunication company sa America. All right, so ito, hindi po to yung mga lumabas na mga options, okay? Sometimes pinapalitan ko po talaga yung mga options, okay? Just so mai mai-insert ko yung mga na encounter ko sa Mac before, okay, na pwedeng-pwede ding lumabas. Okay, so, yun nga si Morse code is Samuel F. B. Morse, right? Penicillin, alam natin yan, si Alexander Fleming, and light bulb is Thomas Edison. Alright, we go to, ganun. Okay, so, ito pala siya. So, hindi pala totoo na ang first word ni Alexander Graham Bell was ahoy. Okay, hindi. All right? So, the first one he called when he invented it is yung si Thomas Watson na isa niyang na assistant niya. So, he called and he said, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Ganun. Okay, mali mo lalabas pa yan. Ano yung sinabi ng ganyan? We'll never know, okay? The let is anything, anything under the sun. Or ganun nangyari dito ba? All right. All right, number two. This modern work trend is characterized by performing one's job remotely, often from a different city or country than the employer's base. It is particularly beneficial for groups like mothers and digital professionals, as it allows them to design a flexible lifestyle, travel, or manage family responsibilities while continuing their careers. Okay, so A, work from home, B, teleconferencing, let us see, work on site, and D, in office. Okay, so 5 seconds. Okay, so ang sagot natin ay work from home. Okay, so accordingly, uh, ang mga words na lumabas dito sa ano, kasi syempre, inayos ko na yung tanong, okay? So, parang, ito yung beneficial for mothers, yung mga ganun-ganon, okay? That they can continue their responsibilities, ganon. So, it's work from home. Okay? So, teleconferencing, ito lang daw yung pwedeng, magiging plausible na option niya, yung teleconferencing. Okay? But teleconferencing, yun na yung use ng telecommunication. Ito na yung tool, okay, to do telecommunication, which is work from home. Okay? An example is work from home. Itong work on site, tsaka in office, dinagdag ko na lang din to. Okay, ito naman yung kabaliktaran ng work from home. Okay, so work on site and in office, they mean the same thing. Okay. Ito yung bonus question. Okay, so na-encounter ko to dati nung nagre-review ako. So, siguro as we said nga, 'di ba? Parang paano paikot-ikot lang yung mga tanong. So siguro dito din nila binase. So sabi niya, which is a primary benefit of a work from home setup? A, increased commuting time, B, higher transportation cost, C, greater flexibility and more frequent ano to? More frequent travel siguro to. Okay? More frequent travel. All right? So, see? All right. So of course, the answer is very obvious. Okay? So greater flexibility, okay? Tingnan niyo yung A, tsaka B, at tsaka D. Kinontra niya lahat yung work from home. Increase commuting time. Nagko-commute ka pa ba? Hindi na. Commute ka na lang siguro pag mamalengke ka. And if you don't commute, okay, syempre, lower transportation cost. All right? Okay. Letter D, more frequent, hindi ko ano to na-cut siguro yung pag-question ko. Alright, we go to number 3. Manuel Alquezon's statement, "My loyalty to my party ends where my loyalty to my country begins," emphasizes A, political party supremacy, letter B, blind loyalty to allies, C, patriotism above partisan interest, and D, support for foreign policies. Okay, so also this is very obvious. So sabi nga niya, my loyalty to my party ends. Ibig sabihin, hindi na siya partisan. Okay? And my loyalty to my country begins. Okay? So if you have loyalty to your country, you have patriotism. Okay? So that is why the answer here is patriotism above partisan interest. Okay? So political party supremacy, no. Okay? It ends na nga daw eh. Yung loyalty sa party nga daw, it ends. Alright? When loyalty to his country begins. Okay? Ito yung blind loyalty to allies. Oh, yun, nakabaliktaran na rin siya. And support for foreign policies, hindi na din. Alright? Number 4, the phrase government of the people, by the people, for the people is associated with A, monarchy, B, oligarchy, C, democracy, and D, dictatorship. Okay, so the answer here is democracy. Okay, so ito is an excerpt from yung speech ni Abraham Lincoln dun sa Gettysburg Address. Okay, so linagay ko to kasi na-encounter ko din to dati. Yung question was, ano yung speech, yung most famous speech ni Abraham Lincoln? And the answer would be Gettysburg Address. Okay, and this is a part, yung sinabi ng government of the people, by the people, for the people, okay, is a part nung address, okay? And it is indeed, okay, connoting democracy kasi itong sinabi niya, uh, he was referring to the soldiers, okay, who lost their limbs and lives, okay, just to fight for democracy. Okay, so yun na talaga. Eksakto talaga yan. Alright, number 5. What is the meaning of bicameral legislature? A, a single chamber parliament. B, a two-chamber legislative body. C, a judicial court system. D, a military-led government. Okay, so the word alone, by. Okay, so by means two. Okay, so bicameral means a two-chamber legislative body. Okay, pag a single chamber is unicameral. All right. All right, so let's go for this kasi lumalabas din to. Okay? So actually, ang nagtatag nung nag-start ang bicameral nung Philippine Organic Act of 1902. Okay, so it's from 1907 to 19 1915, 1915, yeah, is bicameral na tayo. Okay, but then ang tawag sa lower house noon was Philippine Assembly. At ang tawag sa upper house was Philippine Commission. Okay, so elected yung Philippine Assembly, yung lower house, and then appointed yung Philippine Commission. Okay, so lumabas din to nung sa September 2024. Okay, kasi may study body ako na sabi niya to. Okay, so lumabas tong Philippine Assembly. Ano daw yung tawag sa lower house prior sa Jones Law? Okay, so the answer is Philippine Assembly. And then nung Jones Law, okay, ang yung lower house na dating Philippine Assembly naging House of Representatives until now, 'di ba? And then yung upper house naging Senate, okay? So, yan, and yung both houses during Jones Law na is fully elected na siya. Okay, so na-abolish na yung Philippine Commission, na-abolish na din yung Philippine Assembly, naging House of Representatives, naging Senate, and then both houses were fully elected na. All right. All right. Okay, number 6. Okay. Hindi ko naayos to. The Commonwealth period in the Philippines, 1935 to 1946, was A. Permanent colonial government, B. Transitory government, C. Revolutionary government, and D. Military occupation. Okay. Yung ano ko pala, hindi ko na use. Bago na kasi yung aking display sa PPT. All right? And the answer is, yes, it's a transitory government. Okay, di ba nga, yung Commonwealth period was by virtue of the Tidings-McDuffie Act. Okay, so, ang sinasabi niya doon is, there will be a 10-year transition, okay, before we gain our independence. And that is why the Commonwealth period is indeed a transitory government. Okay, so nung napalive ko to sa TikTok, may mga namili ng revolutionary government din. But it's fine, okay? Nagkamali ngayon, basta pasok sa actual. Number 7, palabra de honor is a Spanish phrase meaning blank. A, word of honor. B, self-esteem. C, good manners. D, deep reciprocal sense of gratitude and obligation. Okay. Okay, so of course ang sagot is word of honor. Okay, buti na lang no nagagamit pa rin natin 'to. So kahit hindi mo na encounter masasagot mo pa rin 'to, 'di ba? Yung wala siyang palabra de honor. Right? Okay. So yung self-esteem lumalabas din 'to, okay? Yung self-esteem means ang amor proprio, okay? This is the term for self-esteem, okay? The other words here na lumalabas sa Macboard, self-respect and self-pride. Okay? Yung good manners naman is yung sa delikadesa. Okay? Yung may delikadesa kasi siya. Yung parang ganun. Yung parang meron kang meron kang sense of right and wrong. Alright? And of course, yung deep reciprocal sense of gratitude and obligation is utang na loob. Okay? So, yung mga linalagyan ko ng mga ganito. Okay? It's because ito yung alam ko na pwedeng lumabas kasi na-encounter ko na to nung nagre-review ako. And that is why lalagay ko dyan. So, you could screenshot perhaps, okay? Or read more about it. Okay? Number 7, the Indigenous Peoples' Right Act of 1997, or the so-called IPRA, officially designated as RA 8371 was signed by A. Corazon Aquino, B. Fidel Ramos, C. Ferdinand Marcos, and D. Rodrigo Duterte. Okay? And the answer here is Fidel Ramos. Lumabas din to nung na nagkagulo sila nung September 2024. 'Di ba? Lumabas to. Okay. So maraming sumagot niyan daw na si President Rodrigo Duterte. Okay? So nung pinalive ko to sa TikTok, may nagsabi na yung mnemonics daw niya is Ipramos. Okay? So that's very smart. So Ipramos. Okay? Yung friend ko naman, shout out kay Sir Evie. Nakuha daw niya to kasi binasa niya dun sa RA. Okay, which is very smart, right? Kasi alam naman natin na halos nag-start na si Duterte sa 11 something. or 10 to 11 yung number nung RA niya. Okay? Eh, alam niya na ito is nung RA 37 was noon-noon pa yan. Okay? So, nahulaan niya. Okay. So, itong IPRA, okay, andun din sa ano, it is also stipulated sa IPRA na ang mag-i-implement, okay, and magmo-monitor sa mga rights na to would be NCIP, okay, National Commission on Indigenous People, okay? So, ilinagay ko na rin to dito kasi baka ito naman yung susunod, baliktarin na lang nila or dagdagan nila, 'di ba? Sabi ano yung nag-i-implement and nagmo-monitor sa IPRA. O, so, at least may 1 point ka na. National Commission on Indigenous People. Alright? So, ito, sinulat ko na din yung mga mga rights nila na stipulated doon sa IPRA. Okay? So, hindi ko na i-discuss to. You just have to read it. Okay? So, but basically, recognition, protection of ancestral domains, respect for culture, non-discrimination, participation, tsaka self-directed services. Alright? For our indigenous people. Alright, number 9. These are literature types that aim to inspire and develop values. Okay? A, fable. B, allegory. Letter C, didactic. And letter D, epistolary. Okay? Okay. So, ang sagot niyan ay didactic. Okay. So, ito din, kasi ito yung mga pwedeng ito yung 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Ito yung pwedeng maka-confuse. Okay. And that is why ito yung pinili ko na gawing option. Okay. So, fable. Why not fable? Okay. Because fable uh, is just a kind of didactic. So, ang hinahanap is literature type na. Okay? Yung parang, ano na ba? Yung parang general concept niya. Alright? So, as I have said, ang fable is a kind of didactic. And ang lumalabas dito na question is yung funny animal story na meron siyang moral. Alright? Meron siyang moral lesson. Okay? Ang allegory naman is yes, meron din nag-inspire din and develop values, okay? But ang ano naman diyan, ang clue naman diyan is hidden, okay? So hindi niya lantaran, okay, na nagko-call out, okay, or nag how do you call that? Nagre-reiterate ng values, okay? And also, usually, moral or political one. Okay? Moral or political values yung kanyang reiterate. Okay? Ang didactic naman, okay? So, didactic comes from the word didacticos, okay? Meaning skilled in teaching. Okay? So, ito talaga yung pinakasagot niya. Alright? And of course, yung epistolary, na naman eh. Yung epistolary, si Urbana at Felisa, okay, ito yung exchange of letters, okay? Si Urbana at Felisa. Ito yung lumalabas na yung pinaka-popular na epistolary natin sa Pilipinas is it's Urbana and Felisa, okay? Which is ito yung parang mga series of letters ni Urbana sa kanyang kapatid na si Felisa, okay, na she's giving advices, mga ganon. And it is written by Modesto de Castro. Okay, so kailangan nyo ding i-memorize to kasi lumalabas din to eh. So, Urbana at Felisa is an epistolary, okay, and written by Modesto de Castro. Okay, pasensya na hindi ko naayos yung hindi nakakaligtan. Okay, number 10, he is known as the ama ng Balarila. A. Lope K. Santos, B. Manuel L. Quezon, C. Cecilio Lopez, and D. Eusebio T. Dalos. Okay, and ang sagot niyan ay of course Lope K. Santos. Okay, because he wrote yung Balarilang Tagalog noong 1939. Balarila is grammar, okay? So ama ng Balarila or ama ng gramatika, it's the same thing. All right? Ayan. Si Manuel L. Quezon, okay? Siya yung ama ng wikang pambansa naman, okay? So ito yung mga dinagdag ko kasi ito yung mga pwedeng related sa wika. All right? And Cecilio Lopez, okay, father of the Philippine linguistic. Okay, so mas malawak naman siya. So alam natin na ang linguistic it may include grammar, 'di ba? Pero yung linguistic kasi is parang mas malawak na siya. Okay, kung saan nanggaling yung isang language, yung mga ganun. All right? So it's Cecilio Lopez. All right? And si Eusebio T. Dalos naman is one of the founders ng Akademya ng Wikang Pilipino. Okay. Number 11, which Filipino cultural trait is often considered highly ambivalent? A, bahala na. B, bayanihan. C, pakikipagkapwa-tao. And D, paggalang. Okay, so the answer there is bahala na. Okay, so dun sa ano sa part 2, okay, so this is part 3 na, 'di ba? Sa part 2 ata na part 1, we talk about yung meaning ng ambivalent. Okay, so marami and lumabas talaga 'yon sa ano sa ngayong September 2025, and you have to take note ang ambivalent means contradictory feeling. Okay, it's not indecisiveness. Okay, it's not. Okay, contradictory feeling about something. Okay, like for example, mahal mo siya pero galit ka. Mga ganun ba? Ganun. Okay. All right. So, eto na, why yung ano, yung bahala na, okay? Anyway, may religious connotation tong bahala na. It comes from the word bathala na. Okay? Because boy ambivalent. Kasi pag bahala na, pwede na you are feeling like you are being positive, you are being strong. Okay? Ayaw mong, you are being optimistic. Right? But also, on the other side, pag sinabi mong bahala na, parang you may not exert effort na, 'di ba? Yung parang bahala na lang, parang gano'n. And that is why it is ambivalent, okay? Of course, yung bayanihan, pakikipagkapwa-tao, paggalang, we can always say na meron din namang ambivalent feeling no'n, 'di ba? But pinaka-highly ambivalent pa rin yung bahala na, okay? Number 12, these are actions that occur without the conscious intervention of the intellect and will, such as breathing or reflexively jerking one's hand from a hot surface. A, human acts. B, deliberate action. C, acts of man. And D, voluntary action. Okay, and the answer is acts of man. Okay, or actus hominis. Okay, so sa next question ko na gagawan ito ng ano kasi related yung next question, okay? So kapag involuntary, it's acts of man. Alright? So tignan nyo naman yung deliberate action. Okay? Magkakaparehas yan. Human acts, deliberate action, tsaka voluntary action, magkakaparehas yan. So you could always do cancellation method actually. Number 13, an action that is performed with knowledge naman and free will, it may not be fully considered, but it's still done by choice. Okay, A, human acts. B, acts of man. C, involuntary action. And D, proof of integrity. Okay? So, ang sagot niyan ay human acts. Okay? So ito, kasi alam ko na pwede talaga tayong mahilo-hilo dyan, ba? Pag ano, kahit ilang beses mo nang na-tackle or na-encounter. So, that's why, yung mnemonics ko dati is I have. I have kasi acts of man is involuntary. Okay? Meaning, wala kang free will. Ginagawa mo lang without thinking. 'Di ba? Kagaya niyan yung mga reflexes natin. Alright? Ganon. Yung HV naman is human act tapos voluntary ka. All right. Okay. And these are the components for something, for an act to be considered human act is dapat may knowledge ka, may freedom ka, and may voluntariness ka. Okay. So lumalabas din ito. Okay. Especially dun sa ano, sa sinasabi nila na how could you be morally responsible? Okay. So you should have knowledge, you should have freedom, and you should have voluntariness. Okay. For someone to be uh considered morally responsible. Okay, so don't forget, I have. Acts of man is involuntary. Okay, hindi mo ginusto. Kusa lang. Okay, and human act is voluntary. Okay, number 14, it is voluntary meaning ginagamit yung faculty mo. 14, it is known as the brain of the computer. A, CPU, B, GPU, C, RAM, and D, motherboard. Okay, and the answer, of course, is CPU or the so-called Central Processing Unit. Okay, so GPU naman, it's sa graphics to. Okay, so it's more on dun sa mga images niya. Alright, yung RAM, of course, alam natin, memory, di ba? So, short-term memory yung RAM. And the motherboard, yun na yung pinaka-ano, yan na yung term dun sa hardware niya. Okay, sa pinaka-ano na hardware. And nakasama na siyempre yung RAM, CPU, GPU. Okay? Number 15, this movement aims to drastically increase aquaculture production to help alleviate pressure on wild fish stocks, reduce the impact on ocean ecosystems, and provide a sustainable source of seafood for the global population. A blue revolution, B green revolution, C aqua revolution, and D sustainable seafood initiative. Okay. So, ang sagot po niyan ay Blue Revolution. Actually, lumabas 'to nung ano, March 2025 kasi pinag-uusapan ng mga study buddies ko na naunang nag-exam. Okay? Kasi ako June kasi ako. Alright? So, marami ding nalito dito kasi, ah, ang na-encounter lang namin noon nung nagre-review kami was Green Revolution. Okay, so marami din palang sumagot sa Green Revolution because that is the only thing that we encountered. Okay, but ang Green Revolution is more on sa green. Okay, agriculture. All right, ang blue. Okay, because it's water. Okay, so uh, related siya sa sustainable source of seafood. All right, yung aqua revolution. Okay, this is not the term. Okay, uh, ang ginagamit talaga na term is Blue Revolution. Okay? And of course, Sustainable Seafood Initiative, this is not also the term for this. All right, number 16. This Spanish colonial policy was designed to consolidate political and religious control by forcibly relocating scattered indigenous populations into new centralized town. Okay? A. Reduction, B. Encomienda, C. Cabeceras, and D. Polo y Servicios. Okay. So, ang sagot niyan ay reduction or reduction siguro or reduction siguro, I don't know. Basta ayan na yan. Okay, so lumabas din actually ito nung June 2025 SPLE. And may mga nalito cause hindi nila tinapos yung tanong. Okay, kasi ah ang kahaba-haba nung ano, nung tanong tapos ang sa last, I don't remember na, pero yung huli ata is ang tinanong is ano, is ano yung center, gano'n. Basta, ang unang ang kahaba-haba na tanong do'n is hindi talaga yun yung ina-ask. Okay, so ang dali nilang sinagot, okay? So that is why, um I cannot reiterate enough. Okay? You have to read the question hanggang matapos. Okay? But at least ito hindi nakaka confusing. Okay? So sabi niya Spanish colonial policy. Okay? So ang policy, yung policy is yung reduction. Okay? And the result of it, which is people go into centralized towns, is yung cabeceras. Okay? So policy is reduction and yung result is cabeceras. Alright. Ang encomienda naman, okay, so, ito dati nako-confuse ako kasi, ah, yung mga lumalabas na tanong is sa encomienda is ano, yung grant ng, for Spanish people, okay? Land grants, okay? But actually, when I research about it, noon, hindi naman siya land grant, okay? It's just that uh, ito yung system na yung mga trabahador, especially yung mga non-Christian people like Filipinos before, kaya yung mga trabahador doon sa ano sa land ng mga Spanish people will give, okay, will give labor or fruits of their labor. Okay, for example, palay, mga ganon. Okay, will ibibigay nila dun sa mga encomienderos. Okay, that is the encomienda. Okay, and ang yung encomienda kaya nakalagay dito na ano na non-Christian people. Okay, because hindi lang naman Pilipinas yung na-conquer ng ano ng Spain noon. Itong encomienda, the Spanish government was exercising this to all nung mga na-colonize nila. Alright? Yan. Okay. Ito, Polo y Servicios, dinagdag ko to kasi lumalabas din to. Okay. So, Polo y Servicios, ito yung forced labor. Okay. Ng mga lalaki from ages 16 to 60. Okay? And should they want to avoid it, okay, or forgo yung forced labor, they have to pay the FALA. Okay, so para hindi kayo ako nalilito ako dito sa Fala at saka Bandala dati. Okay, so ang naging mnemonic ko dito is Polo y servicios is forced labor, alam ko na 'yan. And then they have to pay also Fala, forced Fala, FF. Okay? Alright. Okay, so ito naman idagdag ko lang ito, ano yung primary goal niya, okay, nung reduction. It's facilitate taxation, tapos Christianization and easy administration. Okay, so sinulat ko lang dito kasi malay mo next time, ang tanong naman ay ano yung primary goal ng reduction. Alright. Number 17, anong tawag sa bantas na inilalagay sa dulo ng isang pangungusap na nagtatanong tulad ng saan siya pupunta? Alright, lumabas din to nung SPLE namin June 2025 and lumabas na naman ngayon. Feeling ko lalabas na naman yan sa November or even March 2026. So A, pananong, B, padamdam, C, tuldok, and D, kuwit. Okay, I'm sure this is very, very easy for you. Okay, and ang sagot ay pananong, okay? Andiyan na pangungusap na nagtatanong, saan siya pupunta? Ito, to. Yan, ganyan. Pero yung sa SPLE namin, ang tinanong is ano yung pananda na after the word, ganon. Halimbawa, yung, nakalimutan ko kasi yung question dun after the word pupunta. Ganon, yun yung pagka-question. Alright, so pananong is a question mark, padamdam is exclamatory, tuldok is period, okay, and kuwit is comma. Alright. Okay, yeah. Dapat bonus question to. Lumabas din kasi to, so idinagdag ko na lang din. So, ano ang tawag sa bantas na inilalagay sa dulo ng isang pangungusap na nagtatanong tulad ng sa mahal kita? Okay, this one. Alright, A, pananong, B, padamdam, C, tuldok, and D, kuwit. Alright, of course, alam na natin yan. Alright, so ang sagot dyan ay padamdam. Alam naman natin yung padamdam, di ba? Yung ginagamit when there's like, burst of emotion. Okay, when you are angry or excited, ganun. Or super happy, ganun. 18. Which Latin honors represents the absolute highest level of academic achievement? A. Magna cum laude, B. Summa cum laude, D. Cum laude, and D. With honors. Okay. So, tingnan mo talaga, no? Hindi to lumabas nung SPLE namin. Pero tingnan mo talaga kung gaano ka, how do you call that? Yung hindi mo talaga matansya ang akalain mo lalabas pa 'to, 'di ba? Yung parang ang dali-dali na pero lumabas pa din. Alright. So, of course, ang answer dyan ay summa cum laude, okay? Absolute nga Absolute highest level, okay? So, ang pangalawa nun is magna at saka pangatlo is cum laude, lamde, okay? SMC. San Miguel Corporation. Okay? Summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude, SMC. Alright. So, ito, and then, nung nagbabasa ako about it, bigla akong napaisip, tingnan ko nga pala kung ano yung meaning ng valedictorian, okay? Kasi yung sa alam ko talaga, I didn't even mind na alamin yung to, not until now, okay? So, sabi ko, ano ba yung difference ng valedictorian tsaka summa cum laude, okay? Kasi ang alam ko talaga is, valedictorian pag high school, di ba? Summa cum laude pag university. But hindi pala, okay? So, a university could still use the word valedictorian. Okay. So, ito yung pagkakaiba niya kasi baka lalabas naman. Yung summa cum laude, yan yung makukuha mo kapag naka, how do you call that? Nakasagpat. Ano ba yun? You are able to get in. Okay, a certain range of grade. Okay, and often daw nasa top 5%. Yan. Okay, so, for example, ako 97 ako and then ikaw ay 98. Okay, and the range for summa cum laude perhaps would be 100 to 97. Okay, pasok tayo na summa cum laude. Okay, because pasok tayo dun sa range, alright? But valedictorian, yun yung pinakamataas. Okay, pwede mo sabing pinakamataas na among the summa cum laude. Okay, so for example, ako 97 ako, and then ikaw 98 ka, then you will be the valedictorian. Kahit na parehas tayong summa cum laude. Okay, so lahat ng valedictorian will be summa cum laude. Could be. Yes, pagpasok sila sa but hindi lahat ng summa cum laude could be valedictorian. Okay? Kasi nga, maybe there's 5 summa cum laude, pero papiliin natin yung pinakamataas and that will be the valedictorian. Okay, 19. Which revolt in the Philippine history is recognized as the longest lasting rebellion against Spanish colonial rule enduring for 85 years? Okay, so tandaan nyo, 85 years. Kasi meron din ako na-encounter noon na tinatanong ilang years. Okay, so it's 85 years. A. Dagohoy Rebellion. B. Diego Silang Rebellion. Letter C. Tamblot Uprising. And letter D. Sumuroy Rebellion. Okay, hindi ko na naman pala naayos to. Alright. Alright, and the answer is Dagohoy Rebellion. Okay? So, sabi nga nung ano ko, nung nagre-review ako, yung kanyang mnemonic sound dito is Dagohoy! Kasi it's so long. Alright, so ito pinili ko kasi lumalabas din to. So, si Diego Silang, alam naman natin, sa Ilocos to, di ba? And it is about taxation and abuse ng mga Spanish people. To, si Tamblot Uprising lumalabas din, okay? So, sa Bohol naman tong si Tamblot, and it is because yung yung Spanish yung mga conquistadores, they were imposing their belief and ano yung Catholicism doon. Eh itong si Tamblot ayaw niya. Okay, gusto niya na ipaglaban yung kanyang belief and thus. Okay. But then sadly he was executed. And the Sumuray Rebellion, okay, ang pinaka ano naman nito is forced labor. Okay, ang Polo Reservation. All right, and 20, the last one. Okay, what is the world's largest island? A. Greenland, B. Australia, C. New Guinea, and D. Borneo. Okay, so before we reveal the answer, ano please panoorin nyo sa ano na sa YouTube yung first two na series nito. Malay nyo lalabas ngayon ulit na November. You'll never know. Kaya lumabas nga yung marami sa SPL June 25. Lumabas na naman ngayon. So we will never know. Okay, and yes, lumabas din 'to noong June 2025 and of course, kapag batak ka na talaga sa review parang kahit nakapikit ka alam mo na yung sagot. And the answer is Greenland. Okay, and I have a mnemonics here. Go now buy mangoes. Okay, so because ang first na largest island, okay, is Greenland. New Guinea yung N. B yung Borneo. Okay? Wala yung Australia. Okay? Australia is the smallest continent. All right? And mangoes. Okay? So nung pinatiktok ko to, pinahula ko ano yung fourth. Okay? Kasi mali mo lalabas yung fourth. Okay? And it starts with M. Okay? And it is Madagascar. Okay. All right. Okay, so I hope marami kayong natutunan. So once again, this is Miss Karen Faye. I ranked top 4 sa social science major dun sa SPLE. So, and I am starting my science review program for just 249. So if you're a social science program, I hope you would enroll with me. Okay, thank you so much and goodbye.